My name's Kayla, this is Cinnamon the Score Bunny, and today we're going to talk about 25 plus Pokemon that are going to be in Generation 9. Now this includes some Pokemon that are totally new, so I'm not just going to go through like, oh yeah, this one seems like it's Spanish in origin or whatever. It's going to actually go through ones that I think might be included in this game that are entirely brand new. To figure out what new Pokemon might be in this game, I looked at the fauna of the Iberian Peninsula, including both Spain and Portugal. I looked at common animals that live there, as well as some very unique animals. Let me just say, from doing this research, like, I really want to go to Spain and Portugal now because, oh my gosh, the wildlife alone is amazing. I'm going to start off with Pokemon that exist in other games, so we might be getting new forms of them or these exact same Pokemon entirely. The first Pokemon we already know is going to be in this game because we saw it in the trailer, but Seviper 100% in the game. It's very similar to the Asp Viper, which is located in Spain. It's got those like triangular-y diamond shaped patterns on it. They also tend to live in the northeast of Spain, so if my map video is accurate, which you guys should definitely go watch, this means that the main city is more likely Barcelona than Madrid, so further evidence for those of you who are thinking it's Barcelona. Next is the Iberia wolf, and oh my gosh, this animal looks so cool. It also tends to live in rocky areas, and we already have a rock wolf Pokemon in Lycanroc. We have 3 forms of Lycanroc already, so I'm really curious if we're going to also get regional forms in this game or if Lycanroc is just going to be in it as it is. The next animal I want to look at is the Spanish Ibex, which my friend Dusty Gogo is going to be very excited about because clearly this is probably gonna be Go-Go or a form of it. Like, those curved horns match really, really well with Go-Go, and also its traversal of the terrain just makes a lot of sense. I could also see this potentially being Dubwool or a form of Dubwool, but I think it's more likely that it's Go-Go considering the way that this Pokemon is on the mountains. Like, this is not like your grazing sheep type of Pokemon. This thing is climbing up high, like it needs that strong muscly like going up the mountains. So I think it's more likely going to be Go-Go. So Dusty, you can celebrate now. The European mink is an interesting one because it looks a lot like Furret, but you guys who have played Pokemon games know Sentret and Furret are not rare Pokemon. They're extremely common, like they were like the rodent Pokemon in Gen 2. Normally, we would expect Sentret and Furret to be just kind of everywhere. However, minks are actually critically endangered and they look slightly different than Furret. So it's possible that this is going to be a new form of Furret that's like really rare and potentially really good, which I would really like because, you know, Furret is not used at all competitively. Like, it's just not very good. Next is orca whales or killer whales, which do live off the coast of Spain. We already have Wailord as a whale Pokemon, and it's like the whale Pokemon. There aren't really any other whale Pokemon. So I think either we're gonna get Wailord, you know, just more Wailords around, which Wailord seems like a pretty common Pokemon in most Pokemon games. I think it would actually be very, very cool if we got a new form of Wailord that had a black and white coloring, more similar to a killer whale. I don't know if this is likely or like if they're gonna use a whole new Pokemon for this or what, but I just think that would be really cool because I think we need some more whale Pokemon so that it's not just always Wailord. Obviously, since this region is based on the Iberian Peninsula, bulls are a big part of Iberian culture, especially with bullfighting. Unfortunately, I am not a fan of bullfighting. I do not condone it. I don't like it as a practice. I really hope that they don't include actual bullfighting, but I do hope that they have bulls in this game. Obviously, the most famous and slash I think only bull Pokemon is Tauros, and Tauros has never gotten like any sort of love. It doesn't have a pre-evolution or an evolution or anything. So I think this would be a good chance to give Tauros an evolution, especially because like the bulls in Spain are supposed to be like really tough and strong. So having this evolution of Tauros in this generation would make a lot of sense. Okay, the next 3 Pokemon have animal counterparts that are in Spain and also were Hisuian forms in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't think they're gonna want those Pokemon Legends Arceus Pokemon just in one game. I think they're gonna want to bring them into Gen 9 so they get more exposure. So for example, we have the Spanish Imperial Eagle, which looks so cool, like especially when its like wings are out and everything. Like, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. It definitely gives me Braviary vibes, so this could allow them to easily bring in Hisuian Braviary as well. There's also the Cantabrian I'm gonna just insert somebody saying that correctly.
Cantabrian.
Brown bear is very common, especially near Madrid, apparently. So I have a feeling we're definitely gonna see that Pokemon around. And obviously, like, what would be an equivalent of that Pokemon? Teddiursa, Ursaring, and the new Hisuian form, Ursaluna. So I think this is going to be their way of incorporating Ursaluna into the game. There's also these really cool deer in Spain. Now, a lot of people are thinking Sawsbuck might be in the game and that might be alluding to different weather and things like that. But I actually would think that Sawsbuck isn't gonna be in this game, and instead we're gonna have Stantler and Weirdeer. Again, that's gonna tie into Pokemon Legends Arceus, so it makes more sense for it to be that. Plus, some of the deer there are white and Weirdeer is white, and some of them are brown and Stantler is brown. So I feel like it fits better for them as opposed to Sawsbuck. All right, now we're gonna move on to the entirely new Pokemon, including the starters, the regional bird, probably the electric mouse type character. Sprigatito's line is based on the Iberian lynx, which I love cats. In case you guys weren't aware, I have 2 cats and I just really love cats, okay? And the Iberian lynx is a cat, obviously, but it's like a wild cat. It looks very, very cool. Like, I could totally see Sprigatito evolving into something, hopefully that stays on 4 legs, that is like this wild animal lynx thing. Its tail, if you look at Sprigatito's tail, is actually kind of like shorter than you would expect. It's kind of like a bob. It has more of a round shape to it, so I could definitely see this becoming an actual thing. Like, it seems like this matches. I hope we also get more of the lynx markings as it evolves, because Sprigatito doesn't have a lot of that yet, but I think having those markings on its body could be a really cool design choice. Also, look how the kittens look. Like, Fuecoco seems to be inspired by the Gran Canaria lizards, probably. They like to bask out in the sun, so it makes sense that it's a fire type. I don't know if this means that it's gonna become like a fire dragon or what, but I think maybe. And then pretty much everybody has pointed out that Quaxley is based on the blue-footed booby. I don't know what that will mean for its evolutions. I feel like this one has influences outside of it just being this type of animal. I feel like it might relate to either Christopher Columbus, unfortunately, or sailors in general, or something along those lines. Maybe even Don Quixote. I don't know. But I feel like it's got like the secondary influence, which is why it's kind of hard to tell what it's gonna turn into. And then there's what I think is likely going to be the regional bird, which is called the Cernicalo premia, which is this really cool pattern bird that has like blue and spots and all sorts of stuff. Like, they're pretty small, which I would like because, you know, the last regional bird was very, very large. So it would be nice to have like a smaller bird that's maybe really fast or something. I don't know. I feel like they could do something with this design though, because the animal itself looks really cool. So whenever you see an animal that looks cool, I feel like turning it into a Pokemon, the coolness is already there, so they just amp it up to 11 and we're all good. There's also differences in appearance depending on if the bird is male or female, so they could bring that into the game as well. Another common thing in Pokemon is to have like a regional fish. Like, there's always some sort of fish in every region, and the one that I think that they'll use potentially for this is the sturgeon. Well, we do have some water type Pokemon that are kind of similar to sturgeons. We've never got like a purely sturgeon Pokemon, so I think that would be a cool thing to see. It's a very unique looking fish, and I feel like they could do something cool with its design, maybe. I just hope that they don't make it like brown or something, because I really like the colors that it has naturally. And of course, every generation has to have a Pikachu clone, so who will be the electric rodent of this generation? Well, I think it might be the common Jeanette. I hope I said that correctly. But anyways, it's this really cool little spotted animal that has a big bushy tail, and I could totally see it getting like statically charged and its tail just kind of expanding out, like when you get statically charged from electricity and your hair kind of stands up. Like, imagine that with its tail. I feel like this could be a very cool design. Another animal that I think they might base a Pokemon on is the Iberian midwife toad. There's a couple cool things about this animal that I think would be nice to bring into Pokemon. So the first is that it has really unique red spots on its back, so that would just be a cool design aspect. Also, the other thing is that the Iberian midwife toad carries its eggs on its back, so it's potentially something that they could do like Dragapult, where it has the little Pokemon on it, you know, like that, but like in toad form. I feel like it could be really really awesome. The next animal I want to talk about is the Iberian pig. Now these are these big like black brown pigs that live on the Iberian Peninsula. They're very famous for having apparently tasty meat, although I have never had one before. We do have a couple pig Pokemon in Emboar and Grumpig, but I don't think that this is going to be either of those. It just doesn't really fit the vibe of either of those Pokemon unless they do some sort of form thing. So I think this might be an entirely new pig Pokemon. Also, and this is kind of like a fan favorite speculation, but there are flamingos in Spain, and we've kind of been waiting for a flamingo Pokemon for a long time. They could even play with color schemes, like some flamingos are more white and some are more pink, so they could have that either be a gender variant kind of thing, or they could have that be like different forms, like maybe it evolves from one color to the other or something like that. Also, their animations in the wild, if we had flamingos just like standing there, and flamingos can also fly a little bit and it looks really cool. Like, I really hope this happens. Speaking of which, dolphins, we still don't have a dolphin Pokemon, and can you imagine how cool it would look to see dolphins just going along the horizon on the water and just going up to them and meeting a bunch of dolphins? Like, I really want that to happen. So those are 25 plus Pokemon that I think are going to be in the Gen 9 games, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Which of these concepts do you most hope is going to be in the new game? And do you have any other ideas for Pokemon concepts for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? I personally really like the electric rodent idea, but yeah, the dolphin and flamingo would also be amazing. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you learned something new, and